I just finished reading 20th Century Boys yesterday night. It was very good, and I was reading a lot of it, and and I was just getting to the end of it, and yeah, I finished reading it. I finished reading 20th Century Boys and the sequel, 21st Century Boys, which is basically just like a conclusion to the story. And I was like, this feels like a big letdown. Now, let's not start off with such a positive note. I think it is still a very, very good manga. 20th Century Boys is like blue balling. You edge all the way and then you just don't do it. You're this manga basically is edging. It's like edging. That's what reading this manga feels like. How can a manga be good literally 85 to 90% of the way and then just not deliver? It's incredible. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say but disappointed. That's what I felt when I finished reading it. I was like, this is not the conclusion I was hoping I would get. But yeah, 20th Century Boys, I have to say the first like 75% of this manga is very good. It keeps building and building. I love the storyline, the concept is great, the twists and turns are great, and you're really invested into the story. Unfortunately for me, it's like once you reach that 75% and then you keep reading and then it just lost. Like I lost the investment because a whole lot of things happened, plot holes and stuff. Again, this is a review, so I'm obviously going to be talking about spoilers. Let's talk about the main character. Kenji, I think, is a good main character. I think it is great. I think his character is really good. I don't like Friend as a villain that much. Now, this was written by the same author as Monster. Now, if for any reason you've not read Monster, absolutely go and read Monster. Monster is unironically in my top 5 greatest mangas of all time because it is incredible. I love Monster, and Monster has one of the most, I don't know, for me at least, it was one of the most satisfying reads ever. It had a great end, it had a full complete circle moment. I thought Monster had one of the more better manga endings than most mangas I read. And considering it was from the same author, whose name I do know, I just don't want to butcher the pronunciation. I just felt this one was such a downgrade. Like it actually was on par with Monster's quality for like the first 75%, and I was like, I think I found my favorite manga author of all time because oh my god. And then the end happened, and I was like, never mind, I was stupid to think that. Again, not a bad manga, but I just can't help but feel like the somewhat whatever ending kind of overshadows all the good stuff of the manga. It just felt so there. I don't. Friend as a villain was great until he wasn't. And there's so many plot holes. I'm just going to list out all the plot holes, and these are all going to be like huge spoilers, so I'm sorry. But like, the fact that the second friend is just some random dude we never get to see and he was like the forgotten classmate, I think is so like, that's so, that's such a, it was all a dream kind of twist, and I'm just like, that works sometimes, but in this case it really doesn't. So why does Kana have the ability to bend spoons? That I don't get either. I just don't like how Kenji just survived the 2000 bloody New Year Eve. I don't like that either. There's also a point where he's playing a song and he gets shot and he just sits back right up. And it's a whole lot of, oh, things are just conveniently happening. Like, Kenji survives like 3 different times, which is like, what kind of plot armor is that? Again, this is common in anime and manga, right? It's just that if it happens in a shonen, I don't have that much of a problem because I'm like, you know what? Shonen is, the demographic is meant for kids. It's meant for young adults. It's meant for, kids who are like in their teens, 16, 17. Like, I don't think 20th Century Boys is a shonen. It definitely is not a shonen. I mean, if it is, I'd be shocked. But it's not. It's not one of those fighting things, right? So I will be a bit harsher on this manga for having plot armor as compared to like shonen stuff, because in shonen stuff I get it. I don't get it in this. I just don't like it. I think the side characters are really nice. I think Kana is a really good side character until she just fizzles out. I think Friend is a good villain until he fizzles out. I do think the side characters are really strong. That's one thing in Monster as well, where I thought the side characters were strong, but this one has better side characters than Monster, I would argue. Well, oh, collectively, Monster had Grimmer and the detective, but this one has overall better side characters, like comparatively. And yeah, Ocho is undeniably, at least for me, the best character in this entire manga. I could have, I could read an entire manga based on Ocho's life, just including parts from 20th Century Boys and the parts we didn't get to see. Ocho is arguably one of the most badass side characters I've ever read. He is so cool. He just has the aura of the side character, and he's so fucking incredible. Ocho's writing is top tier for me, at least. I think he has his character is the most well written for me. It's the most detailed. You really get to see so many sides, and I think Ocho's character is the best for me in this manga. Other than that, the side characters, Yoshitune is fine, Matsuo is fine. Kenji is well written. And then, okay, I was listing off the plot holes, right? Yeah, and then the whole part of just the reveal of who second friend was just so meh. Like, I didn't like it at all. It was just so bland. I finally searched it up. Naoki Urasawa. I really don't know if I pronounced that well. He's too respected for me to butcher his name like that. And yeah, I think I don't have much more to say about 20th Century Boys. Phenomenal. I will say it was on a very strong 9 out of 10 path, and then it just went down to like an 8 out of 10 for me. Like, I don't know, the ending was really disappointing, enough to deduct 2 points off for me. I mean, it's just that I'm used to things with, not so good endings. This was not one of them. I did not expect this to have a bad ending. I don't know, I think Monster has just set my expectation too high from this author, and I just read this and I was like, oh, because the vibes were the same in the start, and I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those. It wasn't one of those. It was one of those. But yeah, that's about it. 20th Century Boys, I think, is an 8 out of 10. It's got great writing. It's got a lot of emotional moments. It'll make you invested. Just don't get your expectations a little too high. I wouldn't say it's overrated. I think it is perfectly rated. I think it does deserve the hype it has been getting online. But it's also, don't expect it to be the most flawless thing you've read, because you'll set yourself up for disappointment like I did. But anyway, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.